So, Dory, you're a total inspiration. I really wanted to spend some time with you today. So, thank you for the time. For 30 years, you've been really performing at the highest level as a woman, right? You've been on stage as a fitness, you've trained so many incredible people, and each and every day you're incorporating and living and walking this walk. Can you tell me a little bit about your diet?
Well, I started getting into bodybuilding competitions when I was about 33. And that's actually when I started eating quote unquote paleo. They didn't really have this name back then, so much as that's just how bodybuilders ate. And so I incorporated it back then when I was about
Wow.
34. So we're going on about 20 years that I've actually been eating this. And it's intermittent with keto, eating very low carbs and trying to stay in ketosis for longer periods of time. So it has worked really well for me. It served me. It has served me in so many ways besides just how it looks on the outside, but
Right.
also what I've been able to create health-wise on the inside.
How has living this lifestyle where you've done paleo, you've incorporated keto, how have you defied aging?
Well, I do think that diet really plays about 85 to 90% of the role, and yes, of course, I do exercise every day as well. Um, but I do believe that having using ketosis as one of the ways of controlling blood sugar levels as well as controlling weight. And also, I feel like it helps me to keep my lean body mass and keeps my metabolism going. And so at 54, I'm eating more than I was eating when I was in my 20s.
At 54 years old, you're eating more food than you were in your 20s?
Absolutely. And the other thing that I eat more of is fat. I eat a lot more fats, healthy fats, avocados, coconuts. Um, I'm eating butter from grass-fed cows,
Yes.
no hormones. I eat, I do eat my fair share of protein, but it's not overly
Yeah.
done and stuff. So it really is, for me, I have found that eating a higher fat diet, keeping the refined carbs, I don't eat grains, I don't eat pasta, I don't eat rice or bread or those kind of things. And not because they're, quote unquote bad, but because they don't serve me, they don't serve my purpose, they don't serve my body. And I don't believe that they are actually foods that we should be consuming on a daily basis. We really need more vegetables and healthy fats and lean proteins, well, even fatty proteins if they're grass-fed, hormone-free.
Do you ever sort of step back and deprive yourself of the foods that you want?
No, and I guess people would say, "Well, do you eat pizza? Don't you miss pizza?" It's like, I don't miss those foods. When when you feel good all the time, why would you want to eat things that make you not feel so good? And I'll give you an example. Every now and again, I will have, not perfect, 100% all the time. Sometimes I'll eat something that's sweet or sugary. I love ice cream, for instance. You know what happens is I wake up and my joints are sore. Like I can feel the inflammation when I'm eating those kind of foods. And I think you don't notice it so much at first when you're always just eating that way. You just think it's part of aging. Oh, I'm getting older, joints are going to ache and stuff. And I don't think it has to be that way. I don't really get achy joints unless I'm eating something that my body isn't supposed to have.
So, why do you keep such a lean muscle mass and what sort of percentage do you like to stay at?
Well, I do get it measured every now and again, and it consistently stays at around 14%. It has been, incredible, especially at 54, to be able to
Incredible at
do
any
that
age.
at any age, yes. And I just feel good here, and I'm able to, not only look good but perform. I can hike mountains. I can outperform a 20-year-old most of the time climbing mountains, doing the exercises that I love to do.
And eating all the fatty, delicious, satisfying food. So you're not depriving yourself. You never sort of feel that deprivation.
No.
I think that for so many of us is a really big aha and a shocker in so many ways because it goes so counter to what we've all heard for so many years. Did you grow up learning that, fat was bad? What is your background?
It's a typical American family, but my mom would, macaroni and cheese and meatloaf. And so there was no big dietary, I didn't grow up really thinking anything about diet, just other than what my mom served. It wasn't until I actually, in college, I took nutrition. And it turns out that everything that I learned in college was wrong. And so as I've worked with clients, especially women clients, it has been tough to try to get them to start to realize that if they start changing their diet and start eating more fats and dropping out these, you know, I hate to just say target carbohydrates as if they're like this bad thing, but the grains and the sugars. And if I can get them to drop those out, the biggest question is, but what about bread, whole grains? It's so good for you. I'm like, it really isn't so good for you. After they mill that and grain and process that, all the vitamins and nutrients that are in it are gone. Have you ever noticed that? You look at a loaf of bread and it's like fortified with. Well, they have to refortify it with these fake vitamins because they've milled it all out. When we are eating whole foods the way that I like to say God intended it to be, grown and, healthy fats, your body will change. And also, I also believe that it helps with your hormones.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I think when you are depriving yourself of healthy fats, I think that it messes with your hormone levels. With not only, yes, we get older, we're going to go through menopause, that's going to happen, but I think that it can help the transition. I think it helps to keep normal estrogen levels and thyroid levels, and I feel like the chronic dieting that we've done when, even I did in my 20s, back when I wouldn't eat all day, and then at night I couldn't stand it anymore, so I'm gorging on pasta and whatever. I think that sets you up for later on for you having a ride, the hormone ride and hot flashes and things. I think when you have a steady stream of healthy fats and good proteins and plenty of vegetables and some fruits, that your hormone levels are going to stay a little bit more even keel for the most part.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Oh, thank you.